thank you for joining us to learn more about this special initiative. So my name's Preeti Trivedi. I've met some of you. I haven't met all of you on the call. I'm a program officer here at the Sobrato Family Foundation, focused on capacity building for our nonprofit partners, as well as some other initiatives with the family. And this is one of those initiatives. And we're lucky we've got Sherry Sobrato on the call here, who is really sort of the driver. Sherry, did you want to, you waved? I lost you for a second. She is really the driver behind making this opportunity available to you all. Wonderful. So as I said, I think, you know, the foundation cares deeply about mental health, and this is a really unique opportunity for us to be able to support you to dig deep in this space. So we're lucky today, and I'm going to really just turn it over to Lisa after this, to have Lisa Buxbaum. Lisa is the CEO and founder of Soaringwords. She's been an intuitive healer, a workshop leader, and a master teacher for more than 500,000 people throughout the world. She had 3 experiences with death and illness in her family during a 10-month period, which really motivated her to launch this initiative, Soaringwords. She's been featured as a subject content expert on ABC News. She was a CEO to watch in the Chronicle of Philanthropy, USA Today, Fortune Small Business, and she won a Lives That Make a Difference award from A&E. She's been a keynote speaker and moderator and panelist at over 100 professional and scientific conferences. She earned a master in applied positive psychology at the University of Pennsylvania in the program founded by Dr. Martin Seligman, who's really the founder of the field of positive psychology. She has an MBA in marketing from Columbia University, a BA with honors from UPenn, certificate from the American Institute of Mental Imagery, a narrative medicine certificate from the Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons. So as you can see, a lot of experience in this space, and I'm thrilled to be able to turn it over to her. And we're really excited as the Sobrato team to be able to make this opportunity available. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Preeti, for that lovely introduction. I guess you called my mom and she gave you that information. I want to thank Mara and Preeti and Sherry Sobrato and all of your colleagues at the Sobrato Family Foundation for your generosity and support over these past several years. And it's really a thrill to be here. I want to thank everyone who's taking the time out of your action-packed busy days to listen to this webinar, to learn about the Soaringwords, Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative that we're going to be launching in Silicon Valley in early September. I want to give a special shout out to the folks at Sacred Heart. When we saw the incredible RSVP list of so many grantees, I think you misread the invitation. We said we want to collaborate with 30 not-for-profits, but the folks at Sacred Heart, they thought we wanted 30 people from each organization to join. There's so many of you here today. Welcome, and welcome to everyone else who's representing really an illustrious list of not-for-profit organizations who are doing such important work now, especially in these challenging times. So everybody appreciates that since the outbreak of COVID-19, communities are focusing 100% of their efforts to flatten the curve. But we know that mental health issues are emerging that need to be addressed right now. And the Silicon Valley not-for-profits, yourselves, the professionals and your volunteers, we know that you are taxed to the max right now, helping your existing clients deal with lots of challenges exacerbated by COVID. But we also know that there's a tremendous demand from new clients who are seeking your services as well. And that's why the Soaringwords, Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative is going to be so beneficial to you. And working in collaboration with you, we'll be able to enhance the mental, physical, and emotional well-being of thousands and thousands of residents in Silicon Valley. So let's jump in. Help is on the way. The Soaringwords, Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative is a virtual turnkey program to provide Silicon Valley professionals and volunteers with positive psychology tools to mitigate burnout and compassion fatigue. We're going to help enhance your physical, mental, and emotional well-being so you can better care for yourself, your families, and your clients. The secondary objective of this initiative is to give your clients the skills that they need to experience more meaning and agency and altruism and hope in the face of the everyday challenges of poverty, housing and food insecurity, addiction, unemployment, and mental health challenges. This program has already helped thousands of people, healthcare professionals and clients who are grappling with these wide ranges of challenges, such as illness, trauma, and grief. Some people learn visually, others process information by listening, whereas others kinesthetically through action. The Soaring into Strength workshops incorporate all of these learning styles so that people can best learn and process and incorporate the information that we're teaching them. Each workshop consists of professionally designed slides that are visually interesting. And in each workshop, participants will enjoy watching short, compelling videos with the leading experts in the field. We'll also take time throughout each workshop for about 20 minutes to give them time to comment in the chat and to write in their customized Soaring into Strength workbooks. And that's going to help them really embody the learnings. And lastly, to further reinforce the learning, after each workshop, all of the participants, your staff, your volunteers, and your clients will be invited to participate in a fun and meaningful pay-it-forward activity using expressive arts or writing. This is something that will take 10 or 15 minutes and allow them to incorporate the learnings that they just discovered and to do something kind and fun and creative to donate to a hospitalized child in Silicon Valley. Now, I'd like to show you a short video from the leadership of the Jersey City Department of Health and Human Services. Since June of 2019, Soaringwords has been honored to be the lead mental health content provider for the city of Jersey City with over 270,000 residents.
You know, I'm the director of the largest health and human services department in the state of New Jersey, because Jersey City, quite honestly, is the largest city, and we pride ourselves on being the most diverse city in the country. In 2019, the city of Jersey City was selected as a pilot city for the World Economic Forum's Healthy Cities and Communities 2030 campaign. And this campaign is really looking at a series of different aspects of health. And one underlining component of these aspects is our mental health component. And we've invited Soaringwords to be one of our partners in the World Economic Forum effort so that we can continue to work on mental health work together. Making sure that our staff really understand diversity and have a heightened level of cultural sensitivity, understanding, and competency is really at the forefront of our work around health equity and social determinants. We right now are looking at a really vulnerable population. 20% of our city is elderly, which puts them at risk for other health issues and concerns. In addition to that, we know that there's probably somewhere around 20 to 30,000 uncounted, possibly undocumented immigrant and refugee families, and making sure that we are, at the table for every one of those discussions and understanding our strengths so that we can serve others is really important to us. And we were just really impressed by the work that Lisa Buxbaum was doing, and we thought that this would be a great opportunity for our team in Jersey City at the Health and Human Services Department. And we thought it would be really a great next step for us to do some internal work with our team. One, because we feel that resiliency in health is really important, and thinking about strength-based understanding of our work and assets. And we really embarked on a wonderful journey with Soaringwords, and our staff has really learned a lot of information about themselves and how they are part of a bigger concern and issue in the community. And unless they are helping themselves, they are not able to help others. And so really doing some internal work with our leadership team so that they can be stronger. And especially now, as we're seeing more and more diseases and viruses and things that are not normal in our current health environment, how we can really reset our work and reset our ideals and move forward as a stronger team, knowing the strengths that we have to bring to the table.
When our department's leadership team engaged in a series of SOARINGwords workshops, we only knew we needed to work better as a team, to understand each other better, communicate better, and to better trust each other's experience. We didn't know that it would also be a lot of fun, and we didn't know that it was preparing us to respond to a mass shooting just down the street from our office. We didn't know that we were developing skills for a pandemic that would demand new levels of commitment at the same time we needed new ways of working together to serve the residents of our beloved city. SOARINGwords better equipped us to be the kind of people and the kind of organization our constituency needs and deserves.
Hi, I just want to take this opportunity to just let you know that the Soaring into Strengths model that my staff participated in, which was a 3-part series of workshops and interactive engagement, was absolutely phenomenal. My staff, as health educators, were able to build their capacity to engage the community on a more intimate level and in a more efficient and effective way as far as learning communication skills. They were better able to have self-confidence in going out and educating the community on all the various health issues and that we have today. It was an excellent, excellent learning experience for everyone involved. The self-confidence, they built trust amongst themselves and within the groups that which they shared, and just truly took the staff to a whole different level. I absolutely recommend it and think it would be great for any organization and every organization. Take care. SOARINGwords.
Since 2001, SoaringWords has led hands-on programs for various partners, including healthcare professionals and patients in 196 hospitals around the world, professionals and volunteers at health and human services agencies, and community-based not-for-profit organizations in 20 states throughout North America, divisional, national, and global meetings for 150,000 professionals at Fortune 50 companies. We've also led weekly, monthly, and annual service learning programs for students in grades K through 12 in public, private, and parochial schools. We've also done hundreds of programs and after-school programs with leading community partners such as the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCAs, and the JCC Association of North America. And lastly, we've done in-depth leadership activities and program initiatives with university students, with medical school students and nursing students. We've also done grand rounds and continuing education credits for doctors and nurses and healthcare practitioners in dozens of the leading medical healthcare organizations throughout North America. We're bringing all of this expertise and insight to your organizations to help you better face the challenges at hand for your professional team, as well as all of your clients. The SOARINGwords, Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative has enhanced the emotional, physical, and mental well-being of so many different constituencies. This includes ill children and families, adults grappling with chronic and serious medical challenges, caregivers, healthcare professionals, people suffering with addiction, victims of domestic violence, seniors, veterans, LGBTQ+, unemployed and newly unemployed people, and homeless people. Today, we're going to give you a taste of the SOARINGwords, Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative so you can see how it will benefit your agency's professional and volunteer teams, as well as all of the clients that you serve. First, I want to take a minute and tell you a little bit about myself. 22 years ago, my life changed significantly when there were 3 experiences with death and illness that happened in my family in a 10-month period. My only sibling and younger brother, Gary, died of an asthma-induced heart attack, and I got the phone call at 4 o'clock in the morning telling me the terrible news. 3 hours later, I was standing in front of my parents' home, and I had to break the news to them. Then, 5 weeks later, my father was admitted to the hospital for a bone marrow transplant. He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, the worst kind and the worst stage. The head of oncology told me and my mother that my father was not going to live, that it would be impossible for him to survive, that we had to get his affairs in order right away. Talk about taking away hope. But when I looked into my daddy's eyes, I saw he wanted to fight and he wanted to live. And in this moment, I learned that attitude is an essential part of healing. We were very fortunate. My father lived cancer-free for 19 years. 10 months after Gary died, my oldest son, Jonathan, became catastrophically ill. He had strep throat. The symptoms dissipated, but the strep went to his heart, and he had heart damage and neurological damage from rheumatic fever. For 4 long months, he was heavily medicated. He was having seizures, and he was very scared. He thought he was going to die like his idol, his beloved Uncle Gary. He thought he was going to be hospitalized like his poppy. I was suddenly thrown into the role as a caregiver, and the head of neurology said, "Go be by the sea, go be by the water." Now, I live in Manhattan, which is an island surrounded by water, but the head of neurology wasn't telling us, go hang out by the West Side Highway with the cars and the noise and the pollution. So we rented a little cottage near the beach and we moved there. Each night I had to sleep in my son's bed to massage his tired limbs and to help him when he woke up screaming in pain or from a seizure. He was exhausted. I was exhausted. We had a young child at the time, and it was a terrible, narrow time in our lives. So each morning from 5 to 6 in the morning, I would tiptoe out of the cottage and walk along the beach, crying and praying and singing. That was my time to be with myself. I would sing my corny songs from high school and college, and my daily walk made me stronger. That was when I could cry and pray and just let it out and be by the nature and by the sun coming up and the sea. During the height of one of these walks, suddenly I heard the name, Soaring Words, from above, and I had this calling. I saw my whole life flashing in front of me. I saw all of those children and families in the pediatric waiting rooms, and I knew why I was born, and I knew that my life was going to change, that I was going to create an organization that would do all of the things that my son, my husband, and I and our family so desperately needed when he was ill. So when I got back from that walk, I scribbled the name Soaring Words on my idea pad, and then my day of caregiving took hold. Today, I want to say that you can all take a deep breath. My son is 30 years old. He's fully recovered and healthy. And just a little bit over a year ago, his beautiful wife, Evelyn, and he gave birth to a baby Charlotte, whom we affectionately call Charlie in honor of the sacred memory of my father. So our story had a really happy ending. And for the last 20 years, I've devoted all of my time and attention to building and launching Soaring Words. Over the past 20 years, Soaring Words has inspired ill children, families, and adults. In fact, we've embraced more than 500,000 people grappling with serious medical challenges, setback, trauma, and grief. Soaring Words' mission is to inspire these ill children, families, and adults, and the healthcare providers who are doing the heavy lifting to take active roles in self-healing. Soaring Words is unique because it's the only organization that's inviting somebody who's experiencing extreme challenges to pay it forward and do something kind to help someone less fortunate like them themselves, such as a child in the hospital. The reason we do this is because we know that it accelerates transformative healing. When you do something kind for an ill child in the hospital, it accelerates your empathy, your creativity, and it reminds you that you're still a caring, compassionate, interesting person, not just someone who's attached to an IV pole or not just a patient connected to some disease. After inspiring thousands of children to take active roles in their self-healing, I codified Soaringwords' unique approach into a scientific model to enhance the well-being of patients, families, and expanding it to adults and healthcare professionals. This evidence-based model has been tested among thousands of patients worldwide. The Soaring model stands for 7 of the basic components of positive psychology, which include shifting, creating shifts in your attitude, your body, and overall well-being. Optimism, finding the good even when times are difficult. Altruism, gaining a sense of control by sharing your creativity, kindness, strength, and hope with others. And resilience, flourishing even in difficult times. And imagery, connecting to our inner knowingness, our inner GPS, taking that knowledge to help heal through imagery exercises. And narrative, sharing the power of positive storytelling, learning how to tell your story in a positive way to doctors and healthcare professionals so they see you as a person, not just a stereotype. And then lastly, gratitude, the most powerful of all the positive emotions. These past few months have been anything but relaxing. I don't know about you, but I would love to be in this photo right now. In fact, all of my colleagues in social services and hospitals and healthcare professions, as well as the entire Soaringwords team, feel like we've been running a marathon. I'm delighted to tell you that the Soaringwords Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative will give you some breathing room. This is a proven, fully integrated program. It's a program in a box that's going to enable your professional staff to really deliver quality mental health programs to all of the clients and constituencies that you serve. I recognize that the Silicon Valley not-for-profit professionals and your support teams, that you're reaching out to thousands of vulnerable clients at various times throughout each week or each month. So that's why all of the Soaringwords materials are going to be delivered to you virtually, and they'll be saved on a password-protected portal so that you and your staff can access them whenever you need. In this way, you can address the healthcare needs of all of your clients and their constituencies by using the Soaringwords Soaring into Strength materials. Many community partners are using the Soaring into Strength materials to expand their reach, and there's a lot of flexibility. They can use them in individual sessions or in group therapy sessions or in community lectures and programs. Now I want to take a deeper dive into the various components, the building blocks that make up the Soaring into Strength initiative. The first building block in the Soaring into Strength materials are the professional slides. 33% of the time in each workshop will be spent learning from these professional, easy to understand and compelling slides. I'll be leading all 24 of the virtual workshops. If you want to also offer the Soaringwords workshops in Espanol, my esteemed colleague, Dr. Pamela Munoz del Prada Chavez, will be leading the Soaringwords workshops in Espanol.
Por décadas, investigadores alrededor del mundo han tratado de entender las habilidades extraordinarias de la gente que logra un rendimiento superior. Investigaciones recientes proponen que un máximo rendimiento está influida por la práctica y la experiencia, específicamente por la práctica deliberada. Kay Anders Ericsson, un psicólogo sueco, define la práctica deliberada como actividades que han sido diseñadas para mejorar el rendimiento. En vez de hacer repeticiones sin sentido, la práctica deliberada requiere objetivos específicos y significados, enfoque y retroalimentación de un experto. De esa manera, los mejores en su arte continuamente están empujados fuera de su zona de confort para adquirir habilidades que pretenden poseer.
The second component of the Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative are the video modules. 33% of the time, participants will be watching these short, very accessible videos that have been customized, created exclusively for the Soaring into Strength initiative. Now, these are the leading experts in the world that are friends, mentors, and supporters of Soaringwords. Not only are they scholars and the leading expert in their field of study, they're also incredible human beings. They have charisma, they have empathy, they're very relatable. And the participants, your staff and your clients are going to really love hearing from them and learning these core skills. Which leads me to the third component in the Soaring into Strength initiative, which are the immersive workbook activities. 33% of the time will be spent having all of the participants journal in their workbooks, and also if they want to participate in the chat during the live webinars online. Each interactive workbook consists of 10 to 16 pages of immersive exercises. And the best thing about the workbooks is it's all confidential. The participants can print them out before the workshop, or you can print them out for all the participants. They're just black and white. And that's where they can really take time to focus on the learnings and the core concepts and write about them. And then they can keep the workbook and refer to it after the workshop has happened. And all of this, as I said, is confidential, and the participants really love and appreciate having that workbook so they can spend more time after the workshop really thinking about the concepts that they learned. They can also share what they learned with their families to create a positive lift for the whole family constellation. The fourth module in the Soaring into Strength initiative is a community service project. And we do this because, as I said, the thing that makes Soaringwords really unique is that we ask everybody to do a pay-it-forward project to help a hospitalized child in the hospital to feel loved and supported, to feel less isolated. This is a peak ending. It's also a really clever way to embody the learning even more. So in the workshop on character strengths, the hands-on activity that we do is inviting people to create a soaring superhero based on some of their top signature strengths. For the workshop on soaring into optimism, we invite people to do soaring jokes, knock-knock jokes, to encourage a hospitalized child to smile or to laugh. So this activity only takes 15 minutes, but the altruism and the goodwill that it's going to create for all of the participants will strengthen their feelings of appreciation and gratitude for your not-for-profit, and will deepen a sense of community, especially during these times of physical distancing. Here's an example of the Soaring Superhero instructions so you can see how delightful these activities are. Each month, I'll be leading a monthly orientation session. This is a 1-hour session for the Silicon Valley not-for-profit leadership, your staff, or your volunteers to review the topics for the upcoming month. I'll go over core concepts and give you an overview of what's to come. We also have fantastic marketing and merchandising materials that you'll be able to share electronically. These beautiful flyers and invitations can have all of the information with the dates and times, and you can customize it to put your organization's logo on the flyer. Let's talk about outcomes. We're going to provide Silicon Valley professionals, you and your team, with positive psychology tools, the latest findings from science to mitigate burnout and fatigue so that you can improve your care and support for yourself and for your family, and then for all the clients and constituencies that you serve. Each workshop is going to boost your resilience by giving you professional, turnkey tools that will enable you and your clients to experience more emotional, physical, and psychological well-being in the days and months and years ahead. The secondary outcome is that we're going to give the vulnerable clients the skills they need to experience more meaning and agency and hope in the face of everyday hardships of poverty, illness, housing and food insecurity, addiction, or mental health challenges. Let's talk about evaluation methodologies. At Soaringwords, we've distinguished ourselves through our empirical research, which has been cited and won awards and presented at dozens of international scientific conferences. Measurement outcomes are essential, and we're going to use valid survey instruments that were created by Dr. Margaret Kern. Margaret is serving as our Director of Research. She's also considered a world leader in constructing qualitative and quantitative measurement scales that reflect health outcomes in optimism, resilience, positive affect, empathy, and joy. Dr. Kern is the architect of all of the evaluation methodologies, the Soaringwords surveys that we're using in the Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative. She and I have presented at many scientific conferences together, along with Pamela Nuñoz del Prado Chavez, and each Silicon Valley professional, all the participants from your organization, professional staff, and the clients will be asked to take a pre and a post workshop survey. Each survey takes less than 2 minutes. That's how we collect all the data, which Soaring Words will then collate, but in a very transparent way. We will share all of the data with you, the leadership of your not-for-profit, as well as our funding partners at the Sobrato Family Foundation and other funding partners throughout Silicon Valley. We will aggregate all the data together into an executive summary, which we will share with all of the participating not-for-profit partners, as well as the funding partners. Here's an overview of all 24 of the Soaring Words, Soaring into Strength Positive Health workshops. Character strengths, discover and amplify your unique strengths with Ryan Nemec. Identify the strengths within yourself and learn how to strength spot in others. Post-traumatic growth with Richard Tedeschi. Scientific studies show that most people recover from life crises transformed and even stronger than before. Soaring into resilience, mental agility, coping skills, and grit with Dr. Angela Duckworth. Learn how to overcome negative thinking traps in order to experience more well-being. And self-compassion and forgiveness to activate well-being with Kristen Neff and Kathy Norman. Learning how to overcome negativity bias and a strident inner critic leads to better health outcomes. That's just a taste, and all 24 of the workshops are listed here on the following slides, but also we will be sending everybody who signed up for today's webinar a letter summarizing the Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative, so you can spend a little bit more time reviewing all of the different topics and the short explanation for each topic at that time. We wanted to show you a snippet from one of the expert videos, so please join me in watching Post-Traumatic Growth with Dr. Richard Tedeschi, who's the global expert who coined the term post-traumatic growth. When bad things happen, people feel as if it will break them. Dr. Tedeschi, could you explain what post-traumatic growth is?
Lisa, in addition to the distress that comes in the aftermath of various kinds of traumatic events, people often find that they learn something of value, they change in ways that they value, they experience what might be for some a personal transformation. So this struggle in the aftermath of these traumatic events to cope with them and to figure out how to live with this difficulty and the outcomes that people experience in the aftermath of these events we call post-traumatic growth. So what we've done now is we've tried to learn about it from a scientific perspective. That is, we've tried to look at what are the data that support the idea of post-traumatic growth.
Let's talk about deliverables. Let me summarize all of the different modules that are part of the Soaring into Strength Positive Health Initiative. There are the 24 virtual 45-minute workshops, which include professional slides, customized workbooks, scripts and discussion guides for after conversations or group sessions that you'll have with the different constituencies you serve, and then 72 videos. There's about 3 or 5 videos that are baked into each one of the 24 workshops. Expert facilitation. Soaring Words will be leading the expert facilitation for each of the workshops, and we also will have a Soaring Words moderator on hand to manage the workshop. We're expecting that each not-for-profit partner would have a couple of staff members or volunteers moderating things on your end, because you know your clients and constituencies and you know your staff members, and you can be troubleshooting while we're leading the program and discussing the content. Then there'll be that monthly orientation session where all the Silicon Valley not-for-profit leaders and professionals can gather virtually online, and I will take you through the upcoming topics, the 2 workshops for the next month, and also answer any questions that anyone has. This is a wonderful opportunity for the not-for-profits to learn from each other, to share best practices, and to deepen their sense of community, as together we all help the most vulnerable residents in your community. And lastly, the measurement impact for all of the Soaring Words workshops. We'll be going over the pre and post workshop surveys for each workshop module for each of the participants. and then we'll be providing that executive summary on a quarterly basis to your not-for-profit as well as to the funding partners. Let's talk about timing and next steps, which a lot of you have been asking in the chat. How can we get started? I want you to fill out the workshop survey and just press send, and we'll be going through those in the next couple of days. And then we will set up one-on-one meetings to speak to all of you to discuss your agency's need. Our feeling is that we are looking to have the opening orientation meetings in the middle of August to get everyone on board. And then the goal is to launch the first of the workshops on September 9th, immediately after Labor Day. So that's giving us about 5 or 6 weeks to get started and to get everything into place. Soaring Words is ready to start launching the workshops next week, but we know that we want to really take the time with you so that you can build interest and enthusiasm in participants among your professional staff and among your clients, and to organize it in a way so that you'll get the maximum participation and the maximum benefit from all of your constituencies. I want to just take a moment and thank each one of you for participating in today's webinar. It's been such a pleasure to share this time with you. Thanks for all the nice comments in the chat and for your comments before we got started. I want to thank Mara and Prithi from the Sobrato Family Foundation for pulling today's webinar together. And of course, I want to thank Sherry Sobrato for your generous support, for believing in Soaring Words all of these years. You're truly a soaring champion. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Soaring Words is the power to heal, and I'm really excited to collaborate with each and every one of you.